Hey y'all, I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Alyssa.
And this week we are going to be pushing that performance anxiety button. So this actually came through from one of our subscribers, so thank you very much. It's an interesting topic in terms of like, okay, what do you do? Like, how do I not take it personally? Just like performance anxiety and like sexually, we're talking about like
can't get it up.
It happens.
Keep it up.
Like, and I'm trying to recall with making sure I don't call anybody out, the times in which this has happened to me. And like, it is definitely like how I have handled things has progressed like with age and experience.
10-10.
Like,
yes.
Like, I know when I was younger, like I definitely took that shit personally and thought it was me.
What am I doing wrong?
Right?
And the like conclusion mountain that you can jump to.
And probably making it worse.
Yeah.
In terms of, and like making it about me. Like, oh my God, what's wrong with me instead of and like putting it on the other person. And actually, I don't know, gentlemen, ladies, people, like let us know. Does that help? Does it not help? But
I assume it doesn't help.
True. Like putting it on myself, like what's wrong with me? And I don't think I've ever been like, what's wrong with you? Like, yo, what's the problem? Like, what's good? Like, it's like, am I not doing something right? Like, yo, do you want my mouth? Like my hands? Like what? Like,
do you need my toes?
what are you into? Like, no shade, but like, how can we, because very much so when I was younger in terms of my sexuality, I attributed like what I was doing, like my sexual performance, like was attached to satisfying the other person, like making sure that they feel good, they get off. It was all about getting that
them, because it's like that's like the like, okay, if I'm all these things that you want me to be, then you can do this thing, and this is how it works. But yeah. I feel like that's how like we were taught, or like that's at least like
what we see, or how programmed. Because I don't think I would. Not that I wasn't taught that. Like I definitely absorbed it, but no one like it's not. I'm wondering where that came from, where that picked up on. That's probably a whole different button. But in terms of like putting it on myself and asking like, what can I do better? And like when I was younger, it was it never occurred to me. Like, it's not about you.
Yeah.
Like, and most of the time, it's not even about like what you're doing wrong, what you're not doing. Like, it's something like that is going on with them in terms of maybe something that happened like earlier in their day.
Yeah,
like,
shitty day. I mean, if you're depressed, like that has something to do. If something's wrong with your body, too drunk. I mean, whiskey dick,
that's a
drug dick,
right? Or even just like that anxiety and that want to be good. Like wanting to like perform and to be like, you know, good in bed. That like it makes your mind race. Like, so that person, and specifically in this instance, we're talking about men and not being able to get it up, because like women, like we have performance anxiety sexually as well, but like we'll get to that. But
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that because it's a little bit different. And like it. Oh my God, I can do it. Like, it's probably also what they're thinking in their head. Like, as I lose my fucking train of thought.
The little engine that could. Right?
And the more you think about it, the more you actually, like, just the
that
worse,
doesn't help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The worse it gets. And so it's a matter of, like, what do you do in that situation? How do you handle it?
Yeah, I think same for me. Like when I was younger, it was definitely like, okay, well, what's wrong with you? Like, what am I not doing? And I do believe that I like have said that verbally to someone, like, what's wrong with you? In not a friendly or like not an understanding way. And like the more experience and like conversations that I had with people about like what we were doing, then it became more like, oh yeah, like I am aware that you had a really shitty day. Oh, you know, like yeah, you have whiskey dick, like that's fine. We can still go to bed. Like I'm okay. Like we can do this in the morning. I think
we could do some other things.
Yeah. And that's like when it has happened to me in the last handful of years, for several dick appointments. It is the first time was like not as easy as it could have been. Yes. And like it was just a matter of being like, hey, like just chill, like that's okay. Like we don't have to do this. If your body isn't ready, like that's fine. We can do other things. And like one person that like we did have this like incident conversation, he was a dick about it. And like I knew that it was like not me, and I was like, this is fine. Like bodies are bodies, like they do weird things.
It happens.
But he was a dick about it, and then like,
I'm like nosy.
He did say something about like, oh, if it wasn't for like me doing something, and I was like, okay, well this is clearly you, and I'm okay with that, but like, you know, we can talk about it or you can leave. And so he left. I have had other instances where we like talks about it, and then later they're like, okay, yeah, I feel more comfortable now that we've had this conversation.
That is so interesting. Like, and I know it comes with the age and experience, but now that I am in my 30s, and there was a stint like towards the end of my like late 20s, like conversations during sex have become more like acceptable or easy. Like in my mind when I was younger, like you like there's no talking.
You don't talk about it. If there's a weird noise, you don't say anything, and you never talk to them again.
You just keep going. Yeah. Like what are words? What? No, like unless we talking dirty or like making sounds, it just. I always felt so uncomfortable. But as I got older, and because certain things, like people get triggered also, and like whether it's performance anxiety or they've had something that has happened to them in the past, like a trauma, things become triggering, and that is how conversations start to happen. And I'm curious, like I would hope that's not the only reason conversations happen during sex. But for me personally, that is what led to the conversations. I'm like, oh, actually, this is helpful. And this is like 10-10 hot. Like, okay, thank you for sitting here for a moment, hashing these things out for me. I'm either okay or I'm not okay. And now we getting back to business or going to bed. Or and so in my experience with performance anxiety, it has been that, okay, let's have a conversation about it. Like, we can do something else. Like you can do stuff to me, or like, is there something you would like me to try?
Yeah. Do you want a massage? Like, do you want your head scratched? Like,
what do you need? Or do you need me to leave you alone?
Do you want a foot rub? Also, like if the conversation is like, no, I don't want to talk, and like leave me alone, then also like
leave it at that.
I feel like if you cannot accept that when your partner is saying like, or like you can tell that something is wrong with their body, and you're not giving them that space, like then also that's not really helpful.
No, it's just.
But that again comes with time and like experience.
And in my experience, it's been easier to have those conversations when these things happen with people that you have been sleeping with more than once. But I am, as y'all know, I'm not very much so a casual sex person. So, Mama, like, is it easier?
It depends on the person.
Okay.
Like, it really does, because I feel like some people are just more receptive than others. Like, I think if someone was like, if it was reversed and I was having the issue, I feel like it would depend on the mood that I'm in. If some dude was like, what's wrong? I'd be like, fuck, like, just leave me alone. Or I'd be like, yeah, I had a really bad, and so like, it's the same for, like, I mean, if this is like the thing you're looking forward to all day and then it doesn't happen, like, I would be like, do not fucking say anything. Like,
keep your mouth shut. Like,
let me get my angry steam out of my body, and then we will cold water splash, see if we can get it going again.
Like pep talk, like in the bathroom, like, okay, get it together. It's like, okay. So in reverse, yes, we have performance anxiety, or even just sometimes like not feeling
not in the mood,
right? Not feeling sexy, feeling a little fluffy at times, like fluffy. Like, yo, don't, like, no, lights off, or don't fucking look in the mirror, or just
right, like, okay, please turn around.
It happens. And even like to the point, and again, younger, like past Alyssa versus like present/future Alyssa. Like future Alyssa, like and present Alyssa gets it a little bit more like as you mature and get older, ladies, you will realize shit just ain't the same down there sometimes. And it's like, yo, I promise I want this. And I have embraced lube. I'm like, you know what?
Uber Lube.
Yeah. Like,
this is a free plug, whatever.
Yo,
Uber Lube.
Lube it's lit. And for a while, I was ignorant to that. And I'm like, no, same. I'm fucking, shoot. What is
I don't need that.
Right? Like, no, the fucking, it stays juicy. And it's like, yo, bitch. Like, because it depends on what you ate that day, though, how much water you've had. Like, certain things, like, as I get older, I'm like, shut the fuck up. What? That's stupid. But no, it's science. It's your body.
Science.
Like, it is a part of it. And sometimes, like, she just don't want to work for you the way that she thinks, like, you think that she should. And there is nothing wrong
There's nothing wrong with a lazy hoo-ha.
Right? Like,
that's what I call it.
She's tired. Like, bitch, you've been doing the most. And so,
she needs a latte.
Yes. I need a little pick-me-up. And so, lube, toys are great. And also having that, like, because I have also been asked on the reverse of that sometimes when she is just like, no, ma'am, I got nothing for you. I'm a little dry right now. And I'm like, fuck. And that question of like, yo, like, are you
do you
good?
Want this? Are
or
you okay?
You need,
is this
like, what's happening? I'm like, no, just fucking grab the lube. Like, I promise it's fine. It's not you. You're doing the things. I want this. Or it's like, actually, I'm not in the mood and I'm really not trying to fake the funk. And that's okay too. So, because we get in our heads too, whether it's body image issues, whether it's badass
literally leaves scratching against the wall on the opposite corner of the house at the worst time. Yes, that will throw me off.
And so it's like, okay, it goes both ways, and it's just a matter of having the conversation no matter how uncomfortable it may feel.
Especially when it's uncomfortable, because usually you can end up laughing about it because you're both on the same page, or at least have an understanding about it.
It'll start off a little uncomfortable, a little weird, uncharted territory. Like, I don't even know, like, if you don't even know how to start the conversation, just like be like, just, hey,
how you doing?
Like, can we talk about this? Like, just try. Just fucking dip your toe in, and like the words will come out of your mouth, and you will fucking navigate that shit, and it's gonna be fine. And if it's not, then clearly you don't need to be banging that person.
Yeah, like, if your partners are like not willing to like have that conversation with you after, you know, a couple attempts, or just like continue to give you shit about it, like, yeah, that's something you need to either say like, hey, it's gonna help us both, or then
this ain't gonna work, and I am on to the next. Thank you, next.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, that's us dipping our toe into the water of performance anxiety. Thank you so much for, you know, dropping that in the comment and asking us to touch on that. And we're your Buttons Babes, and we will catch you next week. Bye.